Hey, hey, hey.
Hi
Welcome to
everyone.
another episode of James and Jess's Half Hour.
Woo!
Woo!
Can I get a whoop?
We can get a whoop. So,
Oh my gosh, James, it's like amazing to see you today.
it's so good to
I feel
see
like I
you.
look
You're on
really emo.
yeah, you kind
Long
of do.
service leave, imagine.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I'm hitting the table. Yeah. So I'm on annual leave and I have been for a week. And it's yes. And my car broke down last Friday.
Yeah, explain what happened.
So I was, filming another episode of James and Jess's Half Hour. Went to get my car out, boom, it just stopped. No, it's not. It just stopped, and I was just like, oh, here we go. So as soon as I go into the first gear, and this is an automatic car, but still, when you go to the first gear, it starts to like pull, and then as soon as you get to like the second, third, or fourth gear, it just kept it. That was fine. So in the end, to make a long story short, eventually got the car to the mechanic, and the transmission's blown and we can't find a second-hand one, so Jess is going to have to fork out all of her monies to buy a new transmission for a couple
Well,
of K.
guess
So if you
what?
want to like donate to the Jessica
Yeah,
Foundation,
just let them know the number.
you should have like James, to be a good friend, you would have started a GoMe fund. I'm still waiting. I just have to go on live.
GoFundMe.
Yeah,
A GoFundMe page
a
for
GoFundMe.
Jessica's transmission.
Yeah, and I
Do you
can.
want me to?
We can
I
take a
set it up
picture.
right now.
We can take a picture of me at Frankston Station with like trying to busk.
Yeah.
We can make it happen. I
Let's
have to
do it.
ask for this stuff. Can you believe it, people? Like,
How
just
much? Let's just let the listeners know. How much do you need?
apparently roughly 3K.
Okay, we're gonna raise 3,000 for Jessica.
Yeah, thank you.
Her transmission.
We'll post like the GoMe fund on the Facebook page,
Yeah.
James and Jess's Half Hour. So just donate away. This is why I'm dressed as a. So this episode is being recorded on YouTube. You can see me right now. I look like an emo.
I did think you looked a bit dressed.
This is Jess has no money
Yeah.
situation before Christmas. This always happens before Christmas. It's just
Christmas
a vicious
is one of those times.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those times where money can go astray.
Yes. Money
All
can
these
go astray.
added, you're like, oh shit,
And
yeah.
it's not only it's
I
spending
do-
it on me though.
I gotta buy that present for someone. Yeah, I gotta buy another present for that person.
I haven't even started Christmas
Oh
shopping.
shit!
And I'm on annual leave. I have all the time to do it. No.
Oh, and guess what? Why are all my friends born in December and January?
My mum's like 2 days before Christmas as well. I'm like, well, that's terribly inconvenient. Could have been like the first week in the new year because no one does anything the first
They
week.
just
but
kind
no.
of like empty your pockets all at that season, and you're just like,
I'm the gift.
I'm broke, but
Yeah.
at least now I've got a while until the next people's birthdays.
I agree.
Yeah. So do you want to introduce today's topic?
The topic. Well, it's about a paragraph long, but let me just explain. We were just like, let's do a random like catch up. Like, why not? So it's free will, fate, predestiny, soulmates, life, times apparently. So we're going through life, surrendering, manifestation, and our favorite movies. James came up all by his lonesome this topic for today. So you take it away, James. What would you
Okay.
like to talk about? Which topic? Which part of the paragraph would you like to talk about?
Predestiny?
Okay.
Do you think that it's already sorted? Or do you think it's free will and predestiny together? Meaning,
I think it's already sorted. That's
even
it.
your answer to what happens. You
Yeah.
know, things pop up and you're like, oh.
I think it always goes back to the way it's meant to in the end. You think you have free will and you're like, oh, I don't.
Yeah.
It's the experience.
I kind of agree with you.
It's our soul's purpose, yeah? So
Yeah.
that I always think that our soul has a set task to accomplish. We don't know what that is.
Do you think
do you?
do you think that signs keep popping up in dreams and everything, and it's the universe's way because it's predetermined of saying, "Ooh, here's this. Ooh, I'm gonna."
You know what freaks me out? the fact that we're having dreams, we're probably having dreams with our higher self. We just don't know. And then you snap out of it, and that just encourages you to do something in the day that you wouldn't have already.
Yeah.
That's even more interesting. It like came to me like what a while back that this could be happening. We could be having conversations with our higher self to do certain things, and we just don't know. We don't know anything at the end of the day.
Do you think that time?
But our subconscious does.
Do you think time's an illusion?
Yeah, 100%.
Meaning we've already been here, we've already done this.
It's kind of like people freak out when they're 30 or like 40 or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like with me, like life's never ending. So when I'm 80, I'll be like, oh, I'll probably do that in the next life. Who knows? And even if it is like not the case and you're just going to your death.
I heard this online the other day that someone said that at the moment we're on the 21st of December, Jupiter and Saturn move to Aquarius, and we go into the age of Aquarius. We're moving into an air sign, and they were saying that basically what this means for everyone in our like consciousness and everything is that this only happens, like this isn't going to happen again, they said, it for another 80 years. And they were saying that like in terms of fate and everything, they were saying that it doesn't really care. Like, it doesn't really care. Like, they're like, this cycle happens. It's always going to happen. And they're like, you know, fate and whatnot. You know, you can take this opportunity on the 21st of December, they say, to do something. So start a business, start a creative thing, whatnot. But they honestly said at the end of the day, life is like, you know,
all this, like, look, to be honest, like, the way that I think, I just go with the flow. I really don't care if it's in, like, Saturn or, you know, it's going to go the way it's meant to, yeah? It's kind of just like, oh, it's going in, like, Saturn or Jupiter or, like, Earth or whatever. Like,
yeah.
It's going to happen anyway. It's kind of like, oh, it's going in Jupiter, I should do this, but it's just going to go the way it's meant to in the end, yeah?
I think there's actually a like free will at play as well. So I think
if it's for your higher self,
at the end of the day, I kind of feel like the universe doesn't care whether you catch up and like become consciousness and in your flow, or you're trying to control something, because it's just like your life in, you know, the scheme of the universe and thing is a millisecond, you know, until the next life. That's what I
don't think so.
And that's why I'm just like, I don't think it cares.
I think literally it's just like, it's kind of like seeing like the universe, yeah, and you're just like, what the hell's the point of me? Well, but then the point of view is that the universe created you to have you here, so you are part of the big scheme of things. Yeah, you're just not meant to know, because if you knew, you probably stuff it. Yeah,
but also I kind of feel like in terms of it, if you think of you being in a sphere in like the whole universe, you're just a fraction of time and a fraction of space. And to think that I just think that like it doesn't care. Like fate comes to you and it's like, here's this opportunity, do what you want to do. And I think sometimes people fuck it up. And
not every time, yeah.
Not every time. But like sometimes I kind of feel like this opportunity presents itself, people fuck it up, other people grab onto it. And I kind of feel like the whole cycle of it is just kind of just like, you've still got free will, and sometimes you're going to make the wrong decision, and that's still a learning experience. You're like, yep, okay, I know for next time.
But the thing is, you always get to where you're meant to be.
I think you get to where you need to be at that time.
Yeah.
At that time. I kind of feel like you can't have everything go your way, but you also can't have what's the word? Sometimes I feel like you're forcing things too much. An opportunity presents itself, but you're in that, you know, lower vibrations, so you're just like, nope, not gonna do that. And then I kind of feel like the whole thing is just like, well, that's fine. It's like, and it's when this person learns their lesson, will open something else new. Like,
here's the thing, though. I get what you're saying, but you don't think too much, though.
Yeah.
You just go with it. Like, I don't think like this, to be honest with you. I just, whatever I feel, like instinct. but trusting, having the confidence in that instinct to just go with it. Not to think, oh, okay, it's probably going to just come back if it's meant to be. Or, okay, I'm going to give it my all. Oh, it was not meant to be. No, I'm just, okay, just stumbling. I don't really think. I follow my gut with things.
Yeah, so there's just like gut, nothing else. No thought process.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't think you're getting what I'm saying at all.
What do you
There's a
mean?
thought process, but it's quick for me. But it's not, I don't sit on the fence and I just go with it, and then
So you make a
somehow just go.
decision and then you go with it.
Yeah, but I feel like I think really, like, it's a fast
Quickly.
process for me.
So it's like,
Yeah,
I figured it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're the same, and I think a lot of people are the same, but then they start doubting, or, and of course we're all like that. There's a certain, and that's a good thing of doubt. But I'm just saying, for me, I'm not saying that I'm perfection or anything. That's not the point I'm trying to get. But the way I think is, in order to get it done, I'd like to do this. Kind of like traveling. You have a bit of an itinerary, but you don't stay on, you just go with the flow.
Yeah. So do you think that there's different spheres of things? So like today I was came across an image, and one of them was talking about self-control and how that kind of relates to fear. It's like when you want to be stuck in the...
I think people want to be stuck too, because they don't want to know as well the end result. Maybe because the people around them might make fun of them if they become too good. Or I don't know. It's a weird thing I've seen with people.
Because I kind of feel like at the end of the day, it's like you have different spheres of things. So you have your bubble, and someone might, come into your life, and then that forces you to do something. They influence you to do something different to what you were doing.
No.
You don't think so?
Maybe with other people, but with me, it's kind of just like you're just taking it on board. Like me, I kind of accept them, what's happening in the moment. But at the end of the day, if you don't feel like you have to have some sort of self-control, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't take everything. You find this obnoxious person's just being an asshole, and you're just... okay, to be in the moment, I'm going to be like, no, it's kind of just going with the flow, really.
But say I was like, oh, I've got an idea. You don't think that...
I don't procrastinate.
But you don't think that idea could become something?
Every idea can become something. If you want to murder someone, that's going to be a something, yeah? But if you wanted to do something little, of course, the repercussions is kind of pay it forward, that movie, yeah? You do a little bit and then it spreads.
Yeah.
But it depends what type of energy you want to put out there.
Yeah.
The universe will meet you at that moment, yeah?
Yeah.
Of maybe it's going to say absolutely not, or it's going to say yes.
I was just thinking really lightheartedly, oh, you want to go to Mornington?
Yeah.
And how that kind of creates something that... Is that predetermined? Or...
Probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
But who cares? At the end of the day, you just do what you can in the moment. Just don't think so much, yeah? You do what you can, use your brain to a point, but don't let it overtake.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Logic can ruin people.
Or your heart. If you really think with your... it's kind of it's the balance of things. Just leave it be. It's okay. If it is to come back, it will come back. If it's not meant to come back, maybe you should have grabbed it with both hands, but then maybe something else will come along to teach you to grab it with both hands. Kind of just go with the flow. It's kind of it's the balance of things.
Waves.
Yeah. Literally waves.
So what's your favorite movie, Jess?
Oh my goodness. I've got so many. I love Titanic. I loved it from
Titanic?
Day one. I don't know. It's got everything in one. Sometimes I just watch it halfway through before it sinks. Sometimes I just watch the sinking. I love The Godfather. Love The Godfather. I remember watching that when I was little. Mind blown. I love Breakfast at Tiffany's is another one of my favorite because it's just bonkers. There's so many. I go through different phases, the Bruce Lee trilogy, Die Hard, which is in the Christmas section. If you go to JB right now, for people in Australia, or I don't know if you get JB Hi-Fi everywhere else in the world, Die Hard, because it's just before New Year's Eve or something, it's in the Christmas section.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends.
It's the Christmas movie.
Yeah. It depends on the flow, yeah?
Yeah,
what's your
my
favorite
movies?
Is
Home Alone for Christmas period.
That's brilliant.
1
and 2?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Just the both Christmas theme, Left Home Alone. I just love it. Probably Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks is a classic.
I just kind of like, the whole, I don't know, just the whole story. Quack, quack, quack.
I haven't
Hockey.
watched that in a while. Or like Cool Runnings. Do you remember the bobsleighing movie?
That's so good. I guess like a lot of them are like movies from my childhood. Another one is The Lion King, the animation. I didn't really like the remake, to be perfectly
I was
honest.
never a fan. Like, I always liked certain scenes in Lion King, but the ultimate one for me was always Aladdin.
Aladdin's good.
Aladdin, or even like the classic ones. Lion King's brilliant, though. I don't see what the point of Frozen is. It's just that one scene. And I get Olaf, I get that.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. But I guess we're not in that phase probably when the people before us were like, oh, what's Lion King? And like Aladdin. So
yeah.
it just goes on and on.
Trying to think of other movies. Remember the Titans?
That was brilliant. That little girl, Hayden, she was just like,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Another one that I really liked was
There's so many.
King Arthur.
King Arthur's good, yeah.
A lot of people bag that. I get that it's over the top, but I really
Yeah.
like that movie.
Sometimes you need the crazy ones like
Yeah.
Beetlejuice or
Oh yeah.
you go
good.
Orange, Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
It's just, what am I watching? But you need them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I grew up watching Anne of Green Gables. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The old one, the original. That guy passed away, Gilbert. I was like, no. Oh my gosh, Love Actually is brilliant.
Yes, that's a good Christmas movie as well.
I think those are the two, yeah, Home Alone and like Love Actually. You
Yeah.
start off with Love Actually.
Love Actually is a funny, good movie.
So many different scenes and different characters, so layered
Yeah, and also just so different.
from all the rest, yeah?
It's like different types of comedy within it.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought made it, good. Different styles, different characters, but
Snape.
he was good in that.
He was really good in that. And like Mr.
Everyone
Bean.
was good in that. It was just so
Yeah.
human, I guess.
Yeah, it was well balanced.
Yeah.
It just has a happy ending. I'm like, oh, yay. I mean, it had to. But yeah,
For that season, yeah, definitely.
that scene when he's like, fuck, bugger shit. I love that at the start.
What's that song?
Oh,
I
I
was
can't
thinking
remember.
about that today.
But when it's on the radio, I'm like, it's the Love Actually song.
And he said, we just changed the
The lyrics, just like 2 words. That's about it.
Yeah. And he's like, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, just
But-
don't do drugs.
Yeah. But if you get them for free.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
they're
was
like,
funny.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That was
good.
funny.
I think it's sad that blonde chick who never gets together with that Brazilian guy. I'm like, no, but it happens all the time. It just
Yeah.
highlighted something that happens all the time in society. We just get caught up with everything.
Yeah.
Life can't take its place. How are you with surrendering with life's situations, James?
I kind of feel like
One of the topics here, one of the paragraphs.
I think surrendering is so important. I think so often we can get caught up in our heads,
It's true.
worried with like fear and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm losing this person, but are you really?
No, I don't think you do. I think
don't
at
think
the
you
end of the
do.
day, you have to do you and understand that people are going through their own stuff and
It's
to
not all
realize
about you.
and
Very
to
true.
realize that sometimes taking a step back is actually a step forward.
Otherwise, you
Because-
get stagnant.
Because I also feel you kind of mirror someone. When someone isn't telling you the truth and they're going through something, you can't really do anything for the person.
Can't do anything. It's
And
kind
if
of
they're-
literally
yeah,
watching them jump into a well and being like,
Yeah. And to be honest with you, it's just like you kind of need to learn that your reactions don't make you crazy when the other person's like, you're being crazy, blah, 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 blah. It's actually because you're not talking and you're not communicating and you're not sharing or clearing the air. And then that forces you to act in a way of your shadow self.
It's the energy.
Yeah.
You're like reflecting. It's like a mirror, yeah?
You're reflecting back at them. And then the whole thing that you need to do is need to go, this ain't me. Like, this is not mine.
You don't want to lose yourself. It's kind of like when someone does you wrong and then you go and do something 10 times better to prove to them that it's your insecurity acting up, yeah? Oh, I have to prove that I actually am not like this. And then you go over and you lose track anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, all right, if this person wants to be a dick, go right ahead.
Yeah. I think sometimes you just got to, take a step back, enjoy the time by yourself. And
yeah, whatever's meant to be will be, I guess. And if it isn't, all right, I'll find someone better.
And also,
the universe has a way of correcting it.
Yeah, and then also another time I actually find is that, the universe, has a way of dealing things back, like karma and whatnot. Yeah. And then the person figures it out and they kind of come to that realization.
If I were to tell you nicely, or anyone nicely, they're not going to listen, but the universe has a way of reflecting back that energy, yeah?
And then they figure it out and then they come back. That's often a way that thing, and I feel like there's two things that can happen. You can either accept the fact that they needed their time and you needed their time because you took a step back and you had that, that strength in yourself to be like, I just need to take a step back. They'll figure it out. And you trust in the fact that, if it's meant to, if
the universe has your back regardless, yeah?
And then another person, reaches out to you in times come. And I kind of feel when you have taken that step back, you don't really...
it's like
you
breathing.
Don't really care.
It's kind of like, oh, okay, sure. But when you're forcing your way or someone's forcing, it's the energy's off kind of a thing. You're trying to get into the bubble that has closed, sort of a thing. You just leave it be. Go with the flow. You'd be surprised, like, with life, who comes in and out. And you're just like, I never would have thought I'd ever speak to that person ever again. Yeah. And they come back in a form where you're just like, this is incredibly easy to deal with. The situation without thinking, you're like, oh.
And it's like you didn't get along beforehand. And it's like all of a sudden, the energy's changed and it's fine. Yeah. And you're just like, we didn't like each other.
But then probably that was a good thing. If you were to force yourself, you would have been thinking about forcing process, isn't it?
What more is than it? There's flow. A fine line between hate and love.
Yeah, so true. Whoever said that is a genius because it's so true.
Yeah, definitely. I think it depends on perspective, experience.
Yeah, and just calm down, to be honest. Yeah. Just take a deep breath and just...
And when it's not working, it's not
your
working.
mental health is priority, yeah?
Yeah.
You come first. Back. Yeah. It's the balance.
It's the scales.
It's the scales with life. And your instinct, would be like the most determining factor. Like if your body language is saying one thing about a situation, you're probably right.
I think it's self-awareness as well. When you realize that it's you're reflecting back something, the shadow self. It's like it's a time to take a step back now because you're not being you. Yeah.
Self-esteem. Like a lot of people have self-esteem issues, yeah?
Yeah.
It's just working through that.
Also, it's like knowing when someone else is shining their light and to not, I don't know, just not dim it.
Or you know what a lot of people do? They praise, but then they stop praising when they think that you're above them. Or they'll praise for a little bit and be like, okay, they're getting a bit out of hand. I can't take it. But the real friends will keep clapping, no matter what. But you shouldn't have to tell people to do that.
You shouldn't. And to be honest with you, I think in those circumstances, it's again...
Have you overlooked something or?
Yeah. It's also shadow work, I kind of feel like. Yeah. Insecurities and all that kind of stuff.
Why am I accepting this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you are the sum of the people who are around you.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you allow yourself to get upset and
be told that you're a nutcase when you're not, your instinct is actually telling you something.
Yeah.
And they're making you self-doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people out there that do that.
And
It's time to you'll be stronger on your own. Society doesn't like strong individuals. That's why they're always, oh, you're 30 or you're 40. Why don't you have a partner? All that rubbish from like
it's
decades
like,
ago.
yeah, let's have a partner. Like, you have a partner and you're miserable.
I was just like, but have you settled for something less than what you deserve? You want me to jump into that fire? No, thanks.
Also, another thing is I think that people gravitate to people when you've been through trauma together, and that solidifies the friendship, and they're stuck in a loop.
But interesting how if you were to get out of that loop, then the other person would have an issue with you. And you're just like, no, I'm just incredibly happy. And they just don't process because the bond had been formed.
In trauma.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, no, I'm doing things. And then the other person's like, this ain't alright. Like, get back in the loop. Get back in the cycle. And
people sometimes willingly go back because they're afraid to be alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's a tough thing, life, but it can also be pretty damn simple.
Definitely.
It's either one or the other.
Remember the movie My Sister's Keeper?
Yeah. Oh, God, perfect. Yeah, that movie. I watched that once when it came out. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a true story, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made it a little bit different in the movie compared to the book, but very interesting, like,
the perspective. The mother just couldn't see.
Yeah.
Because the love of the other daughter.
Yeah. And that's kind of,
the whole... Oh, maybe we should explain for people that don't know.
No, just look it up. Read the book, watch the movie,
cancer, trauma,
solution
at the end.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah. You gotta...
Some people are stubborn with the one perspective.
Definitely, and I think they're stuck in a loop. I think everyone can get stuck in a loop of thinking that, no, I know the way, I know this, when you do know, like, I think you do. It's that question.
It's the balance.
I think it's a balance, because I think sometimes you can be so confident that you know what you need, but do you know what you need? Because I think the universe knows more of
but
what
then
you
that's
need.
The whole thing of
And
just
it's
letting
that
it go.
realization.
Just stop thinking so much. Just keep the balance. You can't be a dumbass and then not think about a situation, But think, but also just let it go. Just see what happens. Because I could be like, oh, this person hurt me ages ago. I'm not going to let that person, I'm not going to let that. But maybe that person has a place in your life and that was the whole plan to begin with.
Yeah.
So just leave it and just go with the flow, but keep thinking, but be good to yourself. A lot of people are harsh with themselves because they think too much, then they downplay themselves and they don't really move a step forward. They're on the fence constantly without making a move. So just calm down. Yeah. But if you know you're right in something, fight for it, but then also listen to other people's perspectives and calm down. It's true. It's a whole balancing game. Can you get it right all the time? Probably not. But give it your best shot. If you can sleep at night or not wake up at 3 a.m. worrying about all this stuff, then you're doing okay.
True that.
Just don't be so harsh on yourself. Yeah. Give yourself time to grow. And to stuff up, and it's okay. Like, you haven't killed anyone. It's all right. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fate, free will. I think we tied it all. Fate, free will, predestiny. Soulmates is a whole other situation.
Do you believe they exist?
Yeah, I do. You get like twin flames, soulmates, all of that. Yeah. Hard to dissect. But I think when you know, you know. And it's kind of like breathing, going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you're gunning for it, nothing happens. Like you gun for a job, you gun for a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a house, or it's never ending. Or a pot plant or whatever. I had this friend of mine who was gunning for a pot plant, but this person went for it before she did and she cracked it. I'm like, well, just find another one. Very easy to say that, but, you know.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Third world countries have it worse than you. It can be 10 times worse. I think that's another thing to always remind yourself. It could be 10 times worse.
Or 10 times better.
Or 10 times better. But, You'll get there. If you're meant to get there, you'll get there. It's okay. Any parting words, James?
No, I think we covered everything.
Surrendering, manifestation, and movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Random catch up. Done and dusted.
Yeah.
Watch us on YouTube.
Yeah. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're on Insta. We're on Facebook. And we're on YouTube.
Yay! Peace out, bruh.
Peace out.